Welcome to the Hill with Jill podcast. I'm your host, Jill Yiter. Each week, I share one short, digestible episode to help you create clarity and ease in your wellness story. I'll be exploring self-care, intuition, mindfulness, intentional living, and more. If you enjoy a fresh perspective, agree that life is not black and white, and want to improve your relationship with yourself, then you're in the right place. Welcome to episode 5 today. In today's episode, I will be talking about the second area on the wheel of health that I introduced. So that area is technically nutrition, but I, as an intuitive eating coach, like to approach it from a place of nourishment. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about the difference between nourishment and nutrition. So nourishment is a little more holistic, and it includes kind of looking after your food needs on several levels, whereas nutrition is just kind of more related to like the nutrient quality of the food that you're eating. So, such as, is it a carbohydrate? Is it fat? Is it protein? How many calories are in it? Is it a whole food? Is it gluten-free? Is it a veggie? Is it a fruit? That's all kind of nutrition based and still really valid. But nourishment is a step beyond that. So, for example, an apple would be a nutritious choice. But if you are cold and craving something soft and maybe feeling a bit homesick or something, then an apple probably isn't the best choice. Maybe something like soup or oatmeal, or a casserole, something that kind of meets all of your sensory needs, just not only the nutritional need. So what's fantastic is when all of your sensory needs are met surrounding food and you feel really nourished, mind, body, and soul through your food choice. But that includes something that's also a healthy choice. So as an intuitive eating coach, that's just the paradigm that I operate from. And so I'm always approaching things from a perspective of nourishment. So the intuitive eating perspective, if you're not familiar with it, includes honoring your hunger and fullness and making peace with food and making sure that you're eating things that you enjoy and respecting your body and basically moving your entire food culture in the direction of self-care. And so one aspect of this self-care, I feel like, most definitely for myself, is a very practical organizational element surrounding food. So some questions that might be helpful to ask yourself are, do I have a menu plan for the week? And do I have food in the house to carry out this menu plan? And do I take the time to prepare things that nourish my mind, body, and spirit? And do I need to be maybe more intentional or more flexible in my food life? So I'm by no means, and sometimes I think that there's a risk when I mention the thought of a menu planner that there's this kind of black and white, rigid diet mentality associated with it. And that's not what I mean at all. I'm just talking about on a very practical level, just is there some organization and some thought to how you take care of your food needs. So everyone's really different. So maybe you are happy and you know that it works for you to gather food every single day and you like going to the store, or maybe you know that you would like to just take care of that one day of the week. It's kind of just making sure that you have taken the time to assess what plan of action works best for you and then executing it. So in a culturescape that promotes weight loss and restriction and overindulgence and more, there's a lot of confusing and conflicting information in the realm of nutrition, and rarely is it talked about in the form of nourishment, I feel like. So in intuitive eating, we call all of this fuzz the food police. And the food police can make it challenging to even hear, first of all, and then second of all, listen to how you actually are relating to your food life and what would be the right choice for you regarding your food needs. So in this area, it could be helpful to ask yourself some things like, what would I like to eat? Or what would be both nourishing and nutritious? Could I pick something that would meet both of those criteria? And it's okay. Sometimes maybe the answer is no. I'll be honest, sometimes for me, the answer on a Sunday morning is I want a fresh almond croissant from the bakery down the road. And that's, I don't eat that every morning, but that is something that's deeply satisfying and part of an overall larger picture of a healthy food culture for me. And so your food life doesn't need to be complex or like anyone else's, but it does need to nourish you so that you can move through your day with ease and so that you can enjoy your eating experiences and so that you can feel confident about making choices about what's right for you. Because, it's like, for example, for me, everything else in my life runs smoother if I have cleared the mental load of taking care of my food needs for the week. So I kind of do operate on a weekly basis. It's not like a rigid, I have the same menu plan every week. There's a lot of flexibility and the days get mixed up. But as long as I have like a rough sense of at least 3 key dinners and a general sense of some other bits and pieces and some snacks in place, then my mind is able to go, like that voice in my head, the food talk voice in my head is able to go, okay, that's taken care of. So now you can go focus on this. That fundamental need has been met. And so it's okay to go over here and work on this. And I realize not everyone, that's kind of a gift and a curse that I have. So some people maybe don't have that mental load of that chatter telling them in the background, that self-talk. Have you taken care of this? Have you taken care of this? Have you addressed this? But I do, and I know a lot of us do. And so by actually listening to it and taking care of it, it helps me be able to then focus my attention in other areas. So I hope that was maybe helpful. That's just a little bit of a taste of this very vast area that is both nutrition and nourishment. I, of course, am an intuitive eating coach, and I do have a number of both free and paid resources specifically in this area of nourishment. So if you would like to go a bit deeper, you can check those out. I'll leave that information in the description. But just to let you know, a few of those would include, I do offer a set of 4 free menu planners that I did the little drawings on. So if you are interested in something like that, those are available to you. I have about 5 articles on my blog that are specifically related to intuitive eating if you would like to learn more about that. And they each include a worksheet that kind of walks you through in a little more depth some questions to ask yourself to get you more aligned with your personal food culture. And I offer coaching. The first session is free of charge that I offer. It's a taster session to see if we're a good fit for each other. And then I also have a self-paced course called Heal Your Food Story that's available on my site as well. So there's a number of options there if you want to check any of those out. There's also more videos that you can find on my site that are specifically related to intuitive eating. And so yeah, if you feel like this second area on the wheel of health is something that you need to spend more of your time and attention with, then any of that is available to you. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will talk to you again really soon. Take care and bye for now. Thanks for joining me this week on the Heal with Jill podcast. You can find all my free resources, including menu planners, mindful movement videos, and more, as well as my coaching and courses at healwithjill.com. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd love it if you'd share it with a friend and give it a rating. Take care and bye for now.